on for a while. It says, they're coming back correct. They finally realize you are not one to play with. I want to sit with that for a moment because there is a lot packed into those words. There is a recognition energy here, a shift, a moment where this person finally sees what they had and what they almost lost. That kind of realization, the kind that comes from actually feeling your absence, is a very different thing than just saying the right things. It is not a change of mind, it is a change of understanding. And there is a real difference between the two, because changing your mind can be reversed, but genuinely understanding someone's value. Once you feel that in your gut, it tends to stay. That is the energy we are reading on today. This moment of reckoning on their end, and what it actually means for you. Because this is not just about them coming back, it is about why and what changed and what this return is really rooted in. I feel like a lot of you watching this have been in this position where you had to step back before the other person woke up, where you had to let the silence speak for you because the words alone were not landing the way they needed to. That patience, that decision to hold your own standard and not lower it is what created the shift, and the cards are going to show that. So let's see what is here, because there is a lot moving in this energy right now. Here is the first card, and I am getting justice. And right away, this card feels like the anchor of this entire reading. Because justice is the card of cosmic alignment, of things being set, right? Of energy returning to exactly where it belongs. I feel like justice is confirming what the title of this reading is saying. There is a correction happening here, a real one. This person went a direction they shouldn't have, made choices they shouldn't have made, and the universe has been quietly balancing that out. The distance you have been sitting in, the silence, the pause, the space, it has not been empty, it has been doing something. It has been showing this person in very real time what life actually looks and feels like without you actively in it. Justice is saying that what is coming back is not just this person, it is also clarity. It is also a different level of accountability. It is a shifted dynamic one where your position, your worth, your standard is no longer something they feel comfortable dismissing. The next card here is the Tower reversed, and this one is really showing me what happened internally on their end recently. Because the Tower reversed is the card of a breakdown that has already occurred on the inside, a collapse of a belief they were holding. I feel like at some point something cracked open in their thinking, some story they were telling themselves fell completely apart. The story that they had options or that you would always be there regardless or that they had unlimited time. That story collapsed. The Tower reversed shows me the private moment of reckoning, the moment they realized they had been playing a losing game this whole time. I feel like there was a specific moment, something they saw or heard or felt that made everything very, very real for them. That you are not waiting, that you are not sitting still, that you have your own life and your own sense of direction. The next card is the Six of Cups, and this is showing me the pull they are feeling back toward you right now. Because the Six of Cups is the card of return, of the heart reaching back towards something it recognizes as real and irreplaceable. I feel like this person has been sitting in memories of you, revisiting things, playing certain moments back quietly in their mind. Not just the good ones, but specifically the moments where you showed them exactly who you are, where your standards were unmistakably clear. Those are the moments that are sitting heavy with them right now. The ones they didn't fully receive when they were happening. The Six of Cups is showing me that the pull to come back is emotional. It is specific, it is rooted in something genuine they let go of. This is not random, and this is not convenience. This person is being drawn back by the memory of what you actually represent. There is something worth naming before we move forward. The cards are not showing a person coming back out of boredom or habit or because it is easy. They are showing a person coming back because something in them has genuinely shifted, and that matters. That distinction is everything, and these cards are pointing clearly at the second one. The cards in this opening energy are absolutely confirming that this return is real, and it is coming from somewhere true. Now, let's move forward and see what is coming through. Now let's go deeper and see what is underneath this. Now this part of the reading is about you, what you are actually feeling, what is happening on your side of this energy. Because your emotional state in this moment matters just as much as what this person is doing or about to do. Here's the first card for your energy, and I am pulling the Queen of Swords, and honestly, this is such a powerful card for where you are. The Queen of Swords is clear, she is grounded, she knows exactly what she has been through, and she is not forgetting any of it. I feel like this card is showing me a version of you that has done a lot of internal work during this period of distance. You are not the same person you were at the beginning of this situation. Something has crystallized in you, something has sharpened. There is a clarity on your side right now, a knowing that you are not available to be treated carelessly. Not anymore. The Queen of Swords has lived through something. She has felt it fully. She has processed it and she has come out standing. I feel like that is exactly where you are. You have moved through the hardest part of this quietly and on your own terms. She doesn't chase, she doesn't beg, she doesn't lower the standard to make someone comfortable, and right now, neither do you. That energy, that quiet and unshakable certainty about your own worth is one of the most powerful positions you can be in. The next card here is the Four of Cups, and this one is really showing me what is happening emotionally inside of you. Because the Four of Cups is the card of contemplation, of sitting with your own thoughts, of not rushing toward what is being offered, I feel like there is a part of you that is not just throwing the door open the moment you sense this person moving back toward you. There is a discernment there, a pause, a part of you that is watching and waiting to see what is real before deciding anything. That is not coldness, that is not bitterness, that is wisdom, and the Four of Cups is fully honoring that in you right now. You have been offered things before, you have felt hopeful before, and you know the difference between words and actual demonstrated change. So there is a quiet evaluation happening on your side, a careful stillness where you are watching what this person does next. I feel like you are not closed off, but you are not wide open either. You are poised and discerning, and that is the right place to be. The next card is the Eight of Swords reversed, and this one is showing me a significant internal shift that has happened for you. Because the Eight of Swords reversed is the card of breaking free, of removing the blindfold, of seeing clearly what was once obscured. I feel like at some point during this separation, you stopped telling yourself certain stories that were keeping you small. Stories like maybe I expected too much, or maybe my standards are too high, or maybe I am being difficult. Those stories fell away, and what replaced them was something much cleaner and truer. The understanding that you were right to hold your ground. The Eight of Swords reversed is saying you have freed yourself from the mental loop of second-guessing your own worth. That is a massive and meaningful shift, and it is showing up very clearly in your energy throughout this entire reading. The next card here is the Nine of Pentacles, and this one is so fitting for what you have been doing with yourself during this time. Because the Nine of Pentacles is the card of self-sufficiency, of abundance built independently, of flourishing on your own terms entirely. I feel like during this period you have been investing in yourself quietly but meaningfully, in ways that have really added up. Whether it has been your peace, your focus, your goals, or simply your sense of self, you have been tending to those things carefully. The Nine of Pentacles is not a card of waiting around. It is a card of someone who is already living well, already in their power. I feel like that is exactly the energy this person has been picking up on from a distance, and it is exactly what woke them up. Your fullness, your groundedness, your ability to be complete without their presence. That is what they are responding to right now. They realize, possibly later than they should have, that you were never just an option. You were always the prize. The cards on your side are not showing someone who is broken or desperate. They are showing someone who is ready and whole. That honestly changes everything about how this return lands and what position you are in to receive it. There is a quiet confidence running through every card on your side, and it is not accidental you built it. Whatever you went through privately during this separation, it has been refining you, and the cards see that. Now let's keep going and see what is here for you. Now let's move into the next layer. Now we are going into their side of this, their motives, their habits, what triggered the shift, and what is actually driving them back. Because understanding what is happening inside this person right now is how you know whether this return is worth receiving. Here's the first card on their side, and I am getting the Five of Pentacles reversed. And this one is really telling. The Five of Pentacles reversed is the card of coming in from the cold, of finally recognizing the warmth you walked away from. I feel like this card is showing me that this person has been sitting in the consequences of their own choices for a while now. There is a lack energy they have been experiencing, not necessarily material, but emotional, a real and uncomfortable absence. Something is missing in their daily life that used to be there when you were present, and they cannot stop feeling it. I feel like the Five of Pentacles reversed is saying they have been out in the cold long enough to know they don't want to stay there. The realization didn't come from logic, it came from the feeling of walking around every day with something important missing. That is a very specific and very honest kind of pain, the kind that teaches you what you took for granted. The next card here is the King of Cups reversed, and this one is showing me the habit pattern that got them into this situation. Because the King of Cups reversed is emotionally avoidant energy, this is the person who runs from depth when it gets too real. I feel like this person has a pattern, and the pattern is to pull back right when things start to mean something serious, not because they don't feel it, but actually because they feel it so intensely that it triggers something like a fear response. The depth of what they feel for you was part of what made them act carelessly. The feeling was too big and they didn't know what to do with it. That sounds counterintuitive, but it is very common. The more you matter to this person, the more they fumbled the handling of it. The King of Cups reversed is showing me someone who is learning slowly and through real consequences how to stop running from their own heart. The next card is the Two of Swords reversed, and this one is the trigger card. This is showing me the exact moment something broke open. Because the Two of Swords reversed is the card of a decision finally being made, of the stalemate ending of someone choosing. I feel like there was a specific moment where this person could no longer sit in the in-between space they had been hiding in. Something happened, something they saw or felt or heard, that forced their hand emotionally, that made the choice for them. That moment of being forced out of indecision is what this card is pointing at, and it shifted something permanently for them. The Two of Swords reversed says the fog lifted, the avoidance cracked, and what was left standing underneath all of it was the truth. The truth that they want you specifically, and that they have been sabotaging something real with behavior that wasn't worthy of it. The next card here is the Seven of Wands reversed, and this is showing me something really important about where they are right now. Because the Seven of Wands reversed is the card of dropping the armor, of stopping the performance, of no longer pretending to be unbothered. I feel like this person spent a lot of time in this connection performing a kind of detachment they did not actually feel, acting casual when they weren't. Acting like options existed when really only one person mattered. Acting like they had the upper hand. The Seven of Wands reversed is the moment all of that falls away, the moment the ego gets out of the way and the truth takes over. Their fear right now is not about whether they feel something. It is about whether you will still be open when they arrive. That vulnerability, the real and uncomfortable kind, is what is sitting at the center of their energy as they move back toward you. They are not the same version of themselves that walked away or played games. Something has genuinely shifted in how they carry themselves. I feel like the cards on their side are painting a picture of someone who is genuinely humbled by what they almost permanently lost. This is not the energy of someone circling back out of ego or boredom. This is the energy of someone who got the lesson. The habit of avoidance, the pattern of pulling back, the performance of not caring, all of it has cost them, and they know it. What is driving them back is not strategy, it is not calculation. It is the simple and uncomfortable truth that they miss you. Specifically you, your energy, your standards, the way you carry yourself, the way you make them feel when things are real between you. Now let's continue and see what the cards are showing. Let's keep moving and see what else is here. Now, this is the part where we look at what this person is actually about to do, how this return comes through, and what changes when it does. Here is the first card, and I am getting the Chariot, and right away this is giving me very deliberate, very focused forward movement. The Chariot is not a card that wanders, it is a card that locks in a direction and moves toward it with full intention. I feel like this card is telling me that this person has made a decision, and the decision has already moved into action energy. The internal debate is over, the back and forth in their own head has quieted, and what is left is the momentum toward you. The Chariot doesn't hesitate once it has chosen its direction, and the direction this card is pointing at is you. I feel like what is coming is not a tentative reach out. It is not a half-hearted feeling out message. It is something more direct. There is an intentionality to how this person is about to show up that is different from anything you have seen from them before. The Chariot is saying they are coming with purpose, with focus, with the kind of energy that makes their intention very clear. The next card here is the Five of Wands reversed, and this one is showing me something significant about what falls away. Because the Five of Wands reversed is the card of conflict dissolving, of the game's ending, of the back and forth finally stopping. I feel like this card is the energy of this person consciously deciding to put down everything that was creating friction between you. The testing, the pushing, the seeing what they could get away with, the playing it cool, all of that is coming to an end. The Five of Wands reversed is showing a person who is done competing, done posturing, done operating from a place of ego. They are stepping into a more honest and more straightforward way of being with you. And the cards are saying that shift is real. What changes first is the energy of the interaction, the sharpness disappears, the casualness disappears. Something warmer takes its place. I feel like you will notice the difference almost immediately. There will be a different quality to how they come forward. The next card is the King of Pentacles, and this one is showing me how they intend to show up what they are bringing with them. Because the King of Pentacles is stable, grounded, responsible energy. This is someone who is showing up with something solid to offer. I feel like this person is not arriving empty-handed. They are arriving with a version of themselves that is more accountable and more present. They have been thinking about what they actually have to bring to this, what it would take to be worthy of what they walked away from. The King of Pentacles doesn't make promises he can't keep. He shows up with action, with consistency, with something you can actually hold on to. I feel like part of what changes when this person comes back is that the energy becomes more grounded, more reliable, more real, less hot and cold, less unpredictable, less you having to wonder where you stand, and more of a steady and present effort. The next card here is the Ace of Swords, and this is the Moment of Truth card, and it is showing me something really specific. Because the Ace of Swords is the card of clarity being spoken out loud, of the truth finally being put into words. I feel like there is a conversation coming, a real one, where this person says things they have never said directly before, where the honesty comes through clearly, where they acknowledge what happened, what their part was, and what they actually want. The Ace of Swords doesn't soften things, it cuts straight to the truth. And I feel like that is exactly what this conversation will do. It will be the moment where both of you stop speaking around things and actually name what is real between you. What changes after that conversation is the entire foundation of how you interact, because the pretending is gone and the truth is on the table. The shift that is coming is not a small one. It is a recalibration, a reset, a moving into something more honest than what came before. The cards are not showing a slow or uncertain movement. They are showing someone who is coming with clarity and intention. There is no more hedging on their end, no more keeping one foot out the door, no more testing to see what they can get away with. The version of this person that shows up in this return is going to be noticeably different, and that difference will be hard to miss. I feel like what changes most is not just what they say, but how they carry themselves in your presence from this point forward. The weight of what they almost lost has done something to them, and the cards are showing that it changed them in a real way. Now let's go ahead and continue. Let's continue and see what is on your side. Now this part goes underneath everything. The hidden confessions, what they feel but have never said, what lives in the quiet of their private moments. Here is the first card, and I am pulling the Three of Swords reversed, and this one is showing me something they have been carrying silently. Because the Three of Swords reversed is grief that is healing, it is the pain of something that was damaged being slowly worked through. I feel like this person has been privately grieving the version of this connection that they themselves broke down with their behavior. There is a real regret sitting inside of them, not the performative kind, but the deep and quiet kind that keeps you up at night. They have been replaying moments, specific ones, where they chose their ego over the connection and it cost them something real, that grief. That private and honest accounting of what they did and what it cost is what this card is pointing at directly. They have never said out loud, I actually hurt this. I actually damaged something I cared about, but they have felt it deeply. The Three of Swords reversed is the confession they have been sitting with alone, the one that made them change. The next card is the Hermit, and this one is showing me what this person has been doing internally during this period of distance. Because the Hermit is the card of deep solitude, of going inward, of sitting with yourself until something becomes clear. I feel like this person has genuinely been in a reflective space, not just going through the motions of their daily life. They have been asking themselves some hard questions about who they have been in this connection and whether that person is who they want to be. The Hermit doesn't just observe. The Hermit illuminates. It shines a light on what has been hidden, even from yourself. I feel like this person has seen some things about their own patterns during this time that they had never been honest about before. The hidden truth this card is carrying is, I know I was wrong. I know I didn't treat this the way it deserved to be treated. They have not said that to you, but they have said it to themselves quietly and repeatedly, and it has been sitting heavy. The next card is the Devil reversed, and this is one of the most powerful confessions this reading could show. Because the Devil reversed is the card of breaking free from a pattern of recognizing a self-destructive habit and finally choosing differently. I feel like the hidden confession here is that this person knows fully and clearly that the games were never actually working for them. The performance of being unbothered, the testing, the pulling back, the keeping of the upper hand, none of it gave them what they wanted. What they wanted underneath all of the behavior was connection, real and unguarded and mutual connection, and they kept chasing it away. The Devil reversed is them finally admitting that to themselves, finally seeing the pattern for what it was, finally wanting out of it. The emotional truth they have never said is this: I was scared, and I handled the fear in ways that hurt both of us. The next card is the High Priestess, and this one is showing me the deepest and most unspoken layer of what they carry. Because the High Priestess is the card of intuitive knowing, of the truth that lives beneath the surface and never fully goes away. I feel like there is something this person has known for a long time, something they have never let themselves fully say out loud. That you are different from everyone else, that what they feel with you has no comparison, that this connection is not replaceable. They have known it quietly, felt it privately, and never handed it over to you directly, because handing it over felt terrifying. The High Priestess is also showing me the physical dimension of what they feel, the pull towards you that is deeply embodied. There is a longing on their side that is not abstract. It is specific. It is the memory of your presence and the absence of it now. The hidden confession underneath everything in this part of the reading is simply, you were always the one, I just wasn't ready to say it. The High Priestess doesn't lie, and what she is showing me on their side is a person who is deeply, specifically attached to you. Not in a possessive way, but in the way that happens when someone has gotten under your skin and stayed there permanently. I feel like the thing they have never said, but that lives in every action they are now taking, is that they don't want to lose you. Not as a thought, not as an afterthought, but as the truest and most honest thing they know about themselves right now. That truth has been sitting in them for longer than they have admitted, and this return is the first real step toward saying it. Now let's go ahead and continue. Okay, let's see what the cards are saying. We are in the final part of this reading now, and this is where we look at the near future, the advice, and the outcome of everything we have seen. Here is the first card for the near future, and I am pulling the Two of Cups. And wow, this one is really something for this position. The Two of Cups is the card of mutual recognition, of two people facing each other fully, of something being acknowledged between you. I feel like this card in the near future position is pointing at a moment of direct and honest connection that is very close. A moment where you are both in the same space emotionally, and what is between you gets seen and named for what it actually is. The Two of Cups doesn't show up in the near future for nothing. It shows up when a genuine meeting is on its way. I feel like the energy of the next period is one of things becoming more real between you, more mutual, more open. The guessing, the wondering, the reading between the lines of every small interaction, that energy is on its way out. What is moving in is something that has more clarity, more presence, more of an actual connection that you can both feel and acknowledge. The next card here is the Four of Wands. And this one is showing me celebration energy, arrival energy, something worth marking. Because the Four of Wands is the card of coming home, of a milestone being reached, of something finally landing where it was always meant to. I feel like the near future holds a moment that feels genuinely good, a moment where the tension of this whole situation releases. Not dramatically, not in a big scene, but in the quiet and real way that happens when two people finally stop being at odds. I feel like you are going to feel a real and noticeable shift in the near future in how this connection sits and what it feels like. Now, the advice card is the Queen of Cups, and I love this card here because of what it is asking of you specifically. Because the Queen of Cups is emotionally intelligent. She is intuitive. She is deeply feeling, but she is not swept away by it. She knows what she feels, she honors it fully, but she moves from a place of inner stability rather than reaction. I feel like the advice for you in this moment is to stay rooted in your own emotional truth without either closing off or rushing forward. You don't have to decide everything right now. You don't have to figure out the full picture in a single conversation. The Queen of Cups is saying, stay in your power, stay in your knowing. Let this person come to you at the pace that they are coming. You have already done the hard work of holding your standard. The advice is simply to keep doing that as this unfolds. Trust what you feel, trust what you know, trust the discernment you have built during this period of distance. The outcome card is the Ten of Cups, and I want you to really sit with this because this is one of the most beautiful outcome cards there is. The Ten of Cups is emotional fulfillment. It is the full and complete version of what love can look like when it is real. It is not a halfway outcome. It is not a complicated or conditional outcome. It is the version where things actually come together. I feel like this card in the outcome position is saying that what is available at the end of this road is genuinely beautiful. If both of you move into this with the honesty and the accountability that the cards have been showing, the destination is a good one. The Ten of Cups is the happy version, the healed version where the lesson was learned and the love got a real chance. The closing card is the Wheel of Fortune. And I feel like this one was always going to land here because it is so fitting. Because the Wheel of Fortune is the card of cycles turning, of fortune shifting, of things coming back around in your favor. I feel like this is the universe saying the wheel has been turning this whole time, and it is turning towards you now. Everything that happened, the distance, the silence, the holding of your standard, it was all part of the wheel moving. It was setting something up, creating the conditions for the return, for the realization, for the shift you are now standing in. The Wheel of Fortune is saying your season is changing and what is coming in is something you have genuinely earned. Take care of yourself, trust the process, and know that the cards are confirming something good is already on its way to you. What felt like loss, what felt like waiting, what felt like you standing alone was actually the setup for this return. You protected yourself by holding your standard, and the cards are now showing that it is paying off in a real way. Thank you so much for being here for this reading. Take what resonates and leave what does not. We are in the final part of this reading now, and this is where we look at the near future, the advice, and the outcome of everything we have seen. Here is the first card for the near future, and I am pulling the Two of Cups. And wow, this one is really something for this position. The Two of Cups is the card of mutual recognition of two people facing each other fully, of something being acknowledged between you. I feel like this card in the near future position is pointing at a moment of direct and honest connection that is very close. A moment where you are both in the same space emotionally and what is between you gets seen and named for what it actually is. The Two of Cups doesn't show up in the near future for nothing. It shows up when a genuine meeting is on its way. I feel like the energy of the next period is one of things becoming more real between you, more mutual, more open. The guessing, the wondering, the reading between the lines of every small interaction, that energy is on its way out. What is moving in is something that has more clarity, more presence, more of an actual connection that you can both feel and acknowledge. The next card here is the Four of Wands, and this one is showing me celebration energy, arrival energy, something worth marking. Because the Four of Wands is the card of coming home, of a milestone being reached, of something finally landing where it was always meant to. I feel like the near future holds a moment that feels genuinely good, a moment where the tension of this whole situation releases. Not dramatically, not in a big scene, but in the quiet and real way that happens when two people finally stop being at odds. I feel like you are going to feel a real and noticeable shift in the near future in how this connection sits and what it feels like. Now, the advice card is the Queen of Cups, and I love this card here because of what it is asking of you specifically. Because the Queen of Cups is emotionally intelligent. She is intuitive. She is deeply feeling, but she is not swept away by it. She knows what she feels, she honors it fully, but she moves from a place of inner stability rather than reaction. I feel like the advice for you in this moment is to stay rooted in your own emotional truth without either closing off or rushing forward. You don't have to decide everything right now. You don't have to figure out the full picture in a single conversation. The Queen of Cups is saying, stay in your power, stay in your knowing. Let this person come to you at the pace that they are coming. You have already done the hard work of holding your standard. The advice is simply to keep doing that as this unfolds. Trust what you feel, trust what you know, trust the discernment you have built during this period of distance. The outcome card is the Ten of Cups, and I want you to really sit with this because this is one of the most beautiful outcome cards there is. The Ten of Cups is emotional fulfillment. It is the full and complete version of what love can look like when it is real. It is not a halfway outcome. It is not a complicated or conditional outcome. It is the version where things actually come together. I feel like this card in the outcome position is saying that what is available at the end of this road is genuinely beautiful. If both of you move into this with the honesty and the accountability that the cards have been showing, the destination is a good one. The Ten of Cups is the happy version, the healed version where the lesson was learned and the love got a real chance. The closing card is the Wheel of Fortune, and I feel like this one was always going to land here because it is